2022, and today we are excitingly testing the Seagate ST277R, which is disc D24 in the catalogue. So the geometry is shown on the screen, but we're just going to show there's no funny business. We're going to do a disc info of ST277R, which is the device name. Let's just show you that. So ST277R represents the device which is the whole of the first hard disk, and ST277R is for the second hard disk. It's quite difficult to keep those timestamps back into 1988, which is when I originally made this disk. Let's look at the partition table of this disk. It's got 6 heads. It's got 820 cylinders. It's got 18 alternate tracks. So in the Karenko style of things, as with disks of this generation, you have to make your own defect map. So what we're going to do today is we're going to reinitialize the whole disk. I've already done it once, so I know what the answer is, but just for your benefit, it's going to be done in front of you. We're going to reinitialize the entire disk. We're going to find the single error on the disk, which is much less than the 13 that are reported on the front of the disk, on the disk label. And then we're going to add that into the alternate track table. So we'll talk a bit more about this. Let's just have a look at this again. Let's do a disk info of ST277R. So we can have it on the screen. You see we've got 820 cylinders, 18 alternate tracks. That means to say that there are 6 heads and 18 alternate tracks, meaning that 3, so 6 times 3, so 3 cylinders are going to hold the alternate track table where we have a remapping of any bad surfaces to this alternate track area, so that the disk, when with this alternate track table installed, is going to look perfect to the operating system with the operating system's help. Okay, so we're going to do the init hard to actually reinitialize the hard drive. It's going to ask us for the device name. It knows the geometry because that's in the partition table on track 0, so it knows it's got 6 surfaces, 820 cylinders. I'm going to keep with 18 alternate tracks. Starting cylinder of the disk is 1, so so cylinder 0 will be kind of used for internal administration. Pre-comp not really required, so I set it to 820. We do want to initialize tracks. It's going to take a while. First cylinder is going to be 0. Last cylinder is going to be 819. Start with head 0, last head 5. Okay. This is going to take a while. So this disk's been spinning for a couple of hours now. I've run a few initializations on it to make sure that things are stable. Last time I ran it, well, all the times I've run it, there's been a single error, only one error, and that error has been on cylinder 819. Now previously there had been an error reported on cylinder 69, but that seems to have disappeared. Let's see if it's still gone. Other exciting things to know, in my records I can see that the drive was manufactured in 1990 on the 31st of July. So we've got the error on 69, so that's an error on head 4, cylinder 69. So I'm glad that's come back because it was absent for a while. So when this disk was originally partitioned in repartitioned in 2016 by me, I can see that I had given it 2 bad tracks in the alternate track table. 69 and what else did we have? 89. Okay. So back to these statistics. So this disk drive was manufactured on the 31st of July 1990. I bought it on the 3rd of February 2009. So I've had it since. I've had it for at least 10 years, as you can understand. I last tested it on the 9th of. So I tested it twice. I've got records of testing it on the 9th of September 2016 and the 14th of September 2021. So just about a year ago. I had been using it to run Chromix 168 briefly, and with the reinitialization of today, it's been, of course, completely wiped. Okay, it's enough waffling. I can't talk anymore. Let's wait for the initialization to complete. Okay, so we've completed the initialization and we have got 2 errors only. We've got them in cylinder 819, which is actually inside the proposed alternate track table, and we have got it on cylinder 69. Okay. So, do we want to change the partition table, which is 816 cylinders? We do not want to change the partition table. And now what we're going to do is we're going to locate the alternate track table at cylinder 817. So remember we decided we were going to have 18 alternate tracks. Each cylinder has got 6 surfaces. So we're going to say cylinder 817, 818 and 819 inclusive are going to be stored for alternate tracks. So that is still correct. The alternate track location starts at 817. Now we do want to add an alternate track. We're going to remap bad cylinder 69, which is here, head 4, to 9, head 4, and and that's it. So it's asking for the next one, which is not going to happen. We're not going to add any alternate tracks anymore, and we're not going to delete any. So we're going to finish. So what have we now got? Disk info of ST277R. So at this point we've added a single alternate track mapping, which maps. So when the operating system is going to look for cylinder 69 head 4, it's going to jump instead to cylinder 817 head 0. So that's a manual jump it's going to make, because it's going to have this mapping stored on the cylinder 0 by the partition table. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to read every byte of this hard drive and see if we need to add to that. So although the initialization discovered 2 errors, there may be more. So let's complete the picture. Again, having worked in enterprise storage for all these years, customers get very upset when you lose their data. So let's do a thorough job and do a read on STD31. And we're going to see if there are any additional problems with this hard drive, and we're going to add that to the alternate track table as necessary. It's reading every byte from every surface and every track on the whole of the hard disk. We've got to get all the way up to 819, counting from 0. Okay, that's good. We've already got that mapped. That's mapped here. Aha. So we have another surface to map. Okay, so we finished. We've got a total of 3 errors now. I'm just going to make a note of these errors in my documentation. Didn't do that right. Second. Okay. Now we see we've got the additional surface 1 cylinder 89. Write that down. So that's surface 1 cylinder 89. We're going to go back into init hard and add that into the alternate track table. We know that we don't need to add surface 0 819 because that's actually in the alternate track area unusually. So let's do init hard. STD31, geometry, alternate tracks, so that's under disk, no initialization, not changing. We are going to add an alternate track. Bad cylinder is 89, bad surface is 1. We're not going to add, no, and we're not going to delete. So now, where do we go? We've got disk info of STD31. So we've got a hard drive, which is now got a partition, which is 48 megabytes in size. Within that partition, starts at cylinder 1, ends at cylinder 816. There are 2 errors, but those errors are mapped to these places here and here. So there will be shown to the operating system a contiguously good space. And we're just going to let's try the read all command, -Z, which I don't think exists. Right, so if we do a read all of minus cylinder 69 to 89 of STD31, you'll see we get errors. We didn't get an error on 89, but that's the idea. So let's do that again. Read all minus AC from 69 to 89 of STD31. And I am not doing what I should be doing. Read all minus A minus C of 69 to 89 of STD31. So what have I just shown you? I've shown you that if we take the alternate track table into consideration, when I read from 69 to 89, I get 0 errors. And why is that? It's because the operating system is taking this table into consideration. So on a Kremenko system, when it looks at the entire partition, when it looks at the entire partition, which I can't see, disk in. Sorry if I'm labouring this point, but it's quite interesting. When it looks at the entire partition, starting at cylinder 1, finishing at 816, it will now appear to be totally perfect. Okay, the last things are, we are going to shut the system down. You'll hear the drive stop, and for good measure I'll start the drive up and you'll hear that lovely startup sound. So let's shut the system down gracefully. Okay. Shutting down in 3, 2, 1. And a final power on so you can hear that. Okay, thanks for watching.